tonight we watched Halloween and The Fog, so we're gonna do a review on that. We're gonna do Halloween first, then we're gonna talk about The Fog.
Yeah, John Carpenter back-to-back movies, Halloween 1978 and The Fog 1979, both with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, we didn't really expect to have John Carpenter movies, but hey, we saw it when we went to go look for them. We were like, hey, The Fog's here too.
Yeah, he got me on. I was like, oh, I love The Fog. Because The Fog, I saw that at 6. It freaked me the hell out. It's like there's nothing scarier than some kind of horror monster that you can't see.
Yeah.
It has that ominous feel, and there's a lot of things in that movie that really hit. But to Halloween, we were talking about how he gave Michael Myers an exact date. 1963. I saw a fictional character of Michael Myers that 1963 Michael Myers kills his sister, his older sister. He's 6 years old, but they gave him a full story, full background story. And the thing is, what's strange was that his niece, who later in one of the movies is has the same thing. He's wearing a clown outfit as a little kid. He kills his sister, and Jamie, the little girl, in one of the Halloween movies, kills her older sister in the clown outfit.
Yeah, because the boyfriend had like a clown mask, and it was like a perfect timing too, because he was wearing a clown costume for it. So of course he picked up the mask. You know, the boyfriend and sister were fooling around and all that, and then like just FYI, I was like the sister had a nice rack on her.
Gotta get for the rack. I mean, hey,
gotta show that rack on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Back when I was like, I think horror movies has always been a good way to advertise sex.
Sex and everything, bro. Yeah, it's not a horror movie without the sex scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That not fully all out, but you know what I mean. Like you gotta show that. That's what I think. That's what I like about the old school horror films. Like there's always a sex theme or something. You know, they're teenagers, so and everything is like, oh, these teens are like really horny.
Yeah, they throw in that feel into it. I do give credit to who is it? Just John Carpenter came up with the story of Michael Myers, this fictional character that he, you know, like I said, killed his older sister at 6 years. He was 6 years old. He had spoken for 15 years. Breaks out of the insane asylum. Is that he also in the movie he leaves traces. One of the things being the matchbook.
Yeah.
There's the matchbook there at one of the side of the scenes where Dr. Loomis doesn't even notice. He didn't even notice.
Yeah.
That there was a dead man, like literally in the bush right next to him. I don't think he saw him. But also where Michael Myers gets his uniform, that jumpsuit. Let me pull up a little closer. Yeah, we're dropping off movies.
We got these from the library. That's what I like about the library. They have movies and stuff. So yeah, this is Halloween. And then we got The Fog right here. We're dropping it off right now because they wanted this Halloween back on October 3rd. Makes sense. Halloween season and everything. Like everyone wants the movies. So there's proof right here that we did return the movies library. This is the proof. We have to go back and show this film. Go right ahead. I keep the receipt just in case, so I let them know that I did take it back. I always do that. I always make sure when I go back, I show them like, hey, I returned it. Here's the receipt that I have for it.
You can return DVDs there?
Yeah, return DVDs and books and stuff. I do it all the time. When I was a kid, my mom used to do that all the time. Just throw it in there, and then they get it. I think there's like a little hole thing that like a little tunnel thing that goes through it. But if anything, they probably open that and they grab it.
In the morning.
They always do that in the morning.
Is it-
Because last time I did see them open it and they'll be like, okay, here it is.
Mm.
So I don't know how it works now. It's been a while. It's been years, so. But no, we're good. Like,
And it's still Twitch approved music.
it's a whole playlist and everything.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But no, like, I love the Halloween. I love Halloween movie. I loved it. I always loved that movie. I always see that movie. I love how the story progressed and everything, and how the camera angles when he's hiding in a tree, waiting for the parents to leave while she's babysitting. And I love that. I love that because they don't see him, but he sees them. Like, it gives you that suspense. It gives you like an angle of how he sees it and everything. But I love it, I love the backstory of it and everything. Like, it shows it. That's what I love about Halloween. That's what I like about John Carpenter's movies. He explains more. But instead of talking, he shows it. He shows what's going on.
And not only the creation of the character, he created the character with Captain Kirk's face. William Shatner. That's William Shatner's face that he spray painted appliance white. I think by can. When he came up with the Michael Myers character, he needed something there, not just a person. He needed to add something, just like any famous character has a face, but a covered up face, just like there's Freddy Krueger, there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Michael Myers being one of them, Saw, Jigsaw,
Chucky,
Friday the 13th, being Jason, the hockey masks.
Those iconic masses you see and you grew up with. It gives it that iconic history of horror films.
Now John Carpenter, what he did is he took Captain Kirk's mask and he looked at it, spray painted it, clipped the hair, made it look raggedy, rough. And he cut originally the mask for Captain Kirk had eyelids. It's kind of good, a little creepy already.
Yeah.
But he cut the eyelids off the mask, made it more open, the face now. And it was a completely different face, but people don't realize that that is Captain Kirk.
And even if you Google it and everything, you will see it. Like, you see how he looks now and everything. Yeah, it's like if you see him now, he's like older now, and you can see like an older Michael Myers in that way.
Yeah, it was I'm sorry, William Shatner. I mean, you are a little bit on the big side. It was like fat Michael Myers.
Yeah. Don't worry, Shatner. We're fat too, so we're good.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, you're good, man. You're good in our book. But that movie's so iconic, bro. It really is. Watching it now, seeing that old school film and everything. No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. John Carpenter did not think he was gonna make another one of those. He made several.
Yeah.
But go on, sorry.
No, but it gives it that iconic look and everything, and that's what I like about Halloween, The Fog, Child's Play, Saw. I like those iconic old horror films because it brings more of that nostalgic into horror films. I love that. I love the details they put into it, and the story for it as well. It gives you that suspense. But yeah, that's what I love about the Halloween is like every time there's Halloween, I always watch Halloween because I'm like, this is the movie that will stay forever, and the story and everything for it. It's still good to this day. People still watch it, so I love it. I'm even wearing a Halloween John Carpenter Halloween t-shirt. Is tie-dye. I loved it. But no, like, I enjoy these type of movies like Friday the 13th, all those horror movies. I like the nostalgic that it gets to it, the stories and everything.
Yeah, and he's one of the things is he didn't just create a character. Another thing, an aspect that's missing from horror movies now. Another thing is, I'm not saying go back to old-fashioned music, but create the music for the movie.
Yes.
John Carpenter wrote and produced the music for Michael Myers and The Fog, and there was other John Carpenter movies. He did the music for what was it? Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody's familiar with the sound that he uses synthesizers. For the Escape from New York drum machines, but mostly with back-to-back being Halloween and The Fog, he used synthesizers because he wanted everything's was it the music for Michael Myers being da 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 da, and then not only that, when it calms down, he plays it slower. And then there's the ugly chords he plays on the keyboard and synthesizer. Dun, 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 dun. When Michael Myers is like walking.
Walking, yeah. It gives you that vibe. It gives you that creepy vibe that you know he's coming.
John Carpenter thought about like how many aspects are needed for a horror movie. He included music, not just the visual, but he wanted you to hear something as well as seeing it on the big screen.
Like he wants you to feel it. He wants you to feel this boogeyman coming out of nowhere and surprise you. You have to have that feel to it, and I think that's what I miss about horror movies to this day. Is like now these days in horror films, the songs are loud. You can't even barely hear the footsteps or anything. Like you can barely like even hear what's going around. You just hear it so loud and everything that it doesn't even gives you that satisfaction of something's coming. Something or someone is coming for you. And that's what I liked about it. I love that he did his own music for it. I love that, but you don't really see that in horror films anymore.
Another person that used audio was for the movie The Shining. What's his name? I think Robert Kubrick. Walking, whether it be the little boy when he's on the tricycle, riding the tricycle down the hallways, you hear the wheels. He uses that hollowness, the audio, you feel like you're there. And the other thing is like with John Carpenter, what he did with Halloween is that he gave it a third-person view. He didn't want you to feel like you were watching a movie. He wanted to make you feel that you're there. And one of the things is he puts the camera right behind Michael Myers. He puts the camera behind Jamie Lee Curtis, who's Corey. He wants you to feel as if like, oh crap, something's gonna happen.
I think my favorite part from Halloween was when he's in the next across the street, the friend's house, and he's there. He's wearing the ghost. He's wearing the sheet with the glasses. The one of the friend's boyfriends. He literally like
kills.
Yeah.
What's his name? His name was Bob.
Bob. He kills him.
And
then he puts the sheet on. He puts the glasses on, and
he's holding the beer.
Yeah, he's holding the beer, making it seem like to let that chick know, like it's him.
But it's not. It's Michael Myers.
No. And the way she teases him and everything, and he's just standing there not saying anything, just breathing. You can hear that he's just waiting. He's waiting for it. And then when Jamie Lee Curtis character comes to the house to see what's going on, because she hears the choking and everything, she thinks her friend's like making a joke. She goes over there and she sees, when she opens the door into the room, I think it was the parents' room, you see the tombstone of the sister.
Yeah.
And the girl's like right there,
sprawled out like a sacrifice.
because she looks like the sister. I realized that when watching it. I was like, damn. I was like you don't like it really. I was like, man. I was like, that was like really good right there. Like showing that image of that, and I like how he just comes out of nowhere. He comes out of nowhere when he gets the knife and he cuts the shirt of her sleeves. You can see a little blood.
The other thing that I think that Jamie Lee, the element of surprise is what makes these old movies scary.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people who love these modern horror movies. I love modern horror too, but there's certain modern horror movies. One of my favorite is Paranormal Activity, because Paranormal Activity will scare the shit out of you because the element of surprise, but not only that, the element of feeling like you're watching it guerrilla style. Like they're supposed to look like they're whole movies. Like somebody's recording it. I was gonna take this back. I can take.
Yeah.
Take all the way. Basically, like when we go to the underground tracks.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Halloween is a great horror film that I like. I enjoy it. It's amazing. I like the suspense. I love the backstory that they give to it. I like that the doctor is like explaining to the nurse in the beginning, like no, this guy, this, because the lady's like, oh, what about him? Like him. She says him. He was like, well, it's not him anymore. Like it's like he's very like nothing anymore. He has a blank stare and everything, and he doesn't talk. He hasn't talked for many years.
She said, "Why not?" I was like, "I really wish you would stop calling him it."
It, yeah.
He's a man. He's like he once was.
Yeah, he once was a man, but it's it. Like once I saw his face, all I saw in his eyes was black, like a white pale face and black eyes. That's all I see in him. And like it gives you more of how he feels about Michael Myers, how he really sees it, and how he sees him, that he's not really a human being anymore. And I like that. I was like, it gives you more of an inspiration of who Michael Myers really is. Instead of looking at him as a person, he's basically a boogeyman. He's really just a hit. I like about that's what I like about the film. It's like it really explains more about the character and how he is just not really in reality anymore.
And the thing that I like that they is not only just the music, is John Carpenter. When they filmed the movie, they didn't put it out immediately because he wanted to add the music. When they added the music, so he had the movie playing, and he was waiting for the right moments to the da-da-da or the on the keyboards, and that's one of my favorite. Is he kept like, no, rewind that, do that clip again, so we can really get the suspense. And like we were talking about the scene where he kills the boyfriend and girlfriend. So I really do feel that Jamie Lee Curtis was surprised because she wouldn't have screamed the way she did, because that was a scream.
Like a real scream.
Now I think that what they did, they told her, you're gonna walk in, you're gonna see what's supposed to be your friend laying on the bed, going through the parts and everything. I don't think they told her about the fake bodies.
Yeah.
The dead bodies that,
like in the closet.
I think they told her just. I think they dropped the body from, what was it? He was hanging somewhere.
Yeah.
He drops and he's hanging upside down. The other door opens and she sees the other person.
She sees her friend in the closet, and then she sees the guy. I think it was the hallway. I think it was a hallway or another closet, one of the two. And she was like really like, when the body dropped, like literally she screamed like literally like bloody murder. Like legit. And I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, I had a feeling that he didn't really tell her what was gonna happen next. And that's really good. I like that. I like that you really want to get a real scream out of that scene. You want to see how it really goes. And you gotta do one take on that. Like, you can't just keep doing it. You gotta like do it one take and hope for the best, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta have the hope of the best for anything. So no, that was really good. I was like, I liked it. I enjoyed it. So it was a good movie. I like it. I enjoy Halloween. I love that film. Like I said, now we're gonna talk about The Fog. Now, The Fog. Oh my God, that was a masterpiece right there. I haven't seen The Fog in a long time.
You said you were a little kid, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen that for a very long time. I was never scared of it, and I'm not scared of it now.
It scared me as a little kid.
Yeah, like, but now seeing it now, like the story and the build up for it, I was like, no, now I understand it. And some people say they don't like it, but I don't get why they don't like it. The reason why I think they don't like it is because you don't really see the fog that much until like the beginning and the end. But that's fine because you don't read out the fog the whole time. Even I understand the movie's called The Fog and everything, but you got to understand the story the story that's building up for it, and how the island is like cursed, how they get you get right into the backstory of when you go to the church and the priests found the book of his grandfather that wrote, saying how they first got in the island, how they stole the gold from these pirates, and how now they're cursed from it, and now this whole island is a curse, and now they want to get back. Now they want to get back to revenge because they killed them all. His grandfather and a bunch of other guys. They just murdered these people just for the island and for the gold and the island.
Father Malone, his grandfather Malone, Captain Malone, or I think he writes in a diary that he writes about that he's gonna murder Blake's crew, and the thing is that they come back for the 100th year anniversary, 1880, or is it 1879 to 1979 for their vengeance. And one of my things I love is that, there's a lot of aspects. One of the things with the opening scenes of the movie, they don't go, now there is the fog and everything, but there are also the beginning scenes, they open up with the town. There's weird things like a surge of electricity, kind of being the guy, the bottles in the corner store, he's cleaning up.
Yeah.
And the other thing was the car alarms go off. They all went off at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a automotive shop. Lift opens up. Gasoline starts pumping out.
Yeah.
It drops and starts pumping out like somebody's the ghosts are about to set the place on fire.
The suspense for it and everything, like it shows, and yeah, at the beginning, like it takes its place time by time, but it's showing that what's going on. It's showing what's going on around the island, and how like when it was like the witching hour, everything happens. And then once the guy, the two main characters, the guy is he's driving back, and he picks up the hitchhiker. Jamie Lee Curtis is in the movie as well.
She's the hitchhiker.
She's a hitchhiker, and she gets in. She explains to him that I've been going to places and this and that. Like, are you weird? And he jokes around. He's like, yeah, I'm weird. She's like, that's good and everything. And then they're driving back. She's explaining that I went to place to draw because she's an artist. And while they're driving, the windows break, everything breaks. And they're scared, it just comes out of nowhere. And that's what this island was. They're in this witching hour. While the radio's on, they literally just got scared, and they literally just didn't know what was going on. They legit didn't know what was going on. And then we go back to the radio. We get to another character who's in the radio, and I like the radio place. It's literally where the lighthouse is.
Yeah, she's in the lighthouse. It's pretty cool. It's
a badass place. I was like, that's cool.
Honestly, I'd love to work at a radio station one day. I guess it's the closest I can get to working, music. But no, the thing is, there's so many things going on that night. Multiple things. The windows breaking his truck. There's things going on in the in the town.
Yeah.
And then there's also
the church.
There's the church. There's the stone falls out of the brick of the stone wall of the church, revealing the diary of the
grandfather.
Father Malone's grandfather who murdered the sailors. And also the other thing that's going on too is there's some sailors that are out on a ship, on a little, still small boat, fishing boat, and the fog is coming in. The fog comes in, and they're the first victim, one of the first victims, and they're the first victims. And the thing is, it rolls in. The guys, when they walk out, they see this pirate ship.
This huge, like, broken down pirate ship comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it disappears.
Yeah.
It disappears, and the thing is, you can't. The fog. The thing that makes this fog scary is that you can't see more than a foot. And I've actually been in fog like that, but this fog glows. And the thing is, I like that they made it, like that's something. Basically giving the suspense that something that you can't see will kill you. And this fog is bringing in these spirits. And it's like every 100 years this fog rolls in, almost. And I really do like, the other part that I like is that they run out, the first guy on the little fishing boat, he gets stabbed, like he gets gang stabbed by multiple ghosts.
Oh yeah, bro.
Or more like they're zombies. And then they go after the other one. They stab the other one in the eyes. They kill him. And the thing is, the one that they stab in the eyes, now when they find his body, they said his body would look like if it had been sitting in the sea for a month.
Yeah. Like months, like when they did the autopsy. I can't even talk to you.
Autopsy.
Yeah, like the guy explains to the main character, like, hey, like, no, this guy looks like he's been there for for months, and it's kind of weird. Yeah.
They said there was rust on places, in
the ship.
Yeah, and they also said he had silts under the nails. He had lungs full of water, but he wasn't in the water. He was completely dry. He was in the boat when it happened. He had seaweed, on him. It looked like he had been in the bottom of the ocean, but he didn't go. And his one of the things is they were talking about, you've seen something like this before. What's his name? Nick. The guy who plays Nick, that's dating Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie. She plays Elizabeth. He talks about that
his father
was once on a ship, and they went inside. There was fresh food, hot coffee, but the cup that the coffee was in was rusted to the table. Like it had been years, that boat had been out there for years. He said it was the strangest thing he'd ever experienced.
And they found a coin, and he pocketed it, and he was gonna give it to him, but then the coin was gone, like literally. And it gives it more of the inspiration of why these pirates are cursing the island. It's because of the gold that the grandfather of the priest grandfather took and like made it into like a golden cross, Like, it was a really good movie. I like the story. It built up to it, and it gives you that thriller look to it. Like, it gives you more of the story and everything about this island and everything. And like, the island was celebrating their 100 anniversary, the birthday of when the first people came to the island. So it was like, and they're like all freaking out because of what's going on and everything. And no, they still continue it, and I think that's what I liked about the film. Is like, it gives you more of what happened in the real situation. If your island or your town is getting cursed, what will society do? And then they just ignore it and just keep going until it gets worse and worse. I think that's what I liked about it. Is like, you bring more into it, more like, what would happen if this was really happening. And they still continued until everything was getting worse. So the fog was coming, and they were going after everyone. And it was a really good movie. I loved it. The story was suspenseful. Like, the movie was really gives you more of that thrill, and you continue the story more. And I love about it. That's what I loved about the fog. To me, I think it's a masterpiece. I loved it. It was really good. I enjoyed it. And I think like everyone should rewatch the film and see it to yourself and how detailed they put into the story, what Job Carpenter did for it.
And one thing that really, because I am a guitarist, is like the music that he created was so when the fog is really rolling in heavy, he's got the synthesizer running. Dun, 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 we were doing it.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah. And the
it's
fog
like,
is coming up the hill, the mountain, and everything. Like, the fog is coming, and the music just adds more to the suspense of what's going on and everything, and to the point that like everyone's dying, like it's killing everyone, and like the fog is like destroying, like they're just destroying like power lines, phone lines, like to make sure that no one no one gets connections or anything, so they can get what they want. And the number one thing they wanted was the gold. And I like how in the end, where we're getting to the end, the priest realized that, hey, like, no, like they need the gold. They're reading the journal, and they're like, what they mean by they need the gold, and they need the grandfather. And when they break up the brick more, they see like a green cloth, and it has the gold cross, and that's the gold they melted down for the cross. And the priest grabs it, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go out there. He doesn't tell anyone anything. He grabs it and he goes out there. And I loved it. I love that he sacrificed now. And I love that. I loved how suspenseful it was. We're already here, our destination.